So, I'm with Tony's side about keeping prostitution illegal, but I like the point that they brought up that if you legalize prostitution, then it benefits the workers. But according to ex-prostitute workers in Nevada, Amber and Laura Anderson, prostitutes, or the brothels, work against the prostitute workers themselves. And not only that, not only does it, work against the workers, the prostitutes, but also works against itself, economically. According to, give me some time, the Nevada Coalition, Nevada's rural countries reap economic benefits from legal prostitution, and the rural economy would not survive without the brothels. But, however, the counties are actually supporting the brothels themselves. It's the other way around. The counties support the brothels because by the time licensing, policing, and other state-paid taxes or tasks are performed, most counties with legal brothels in Nevada barely break even. And in northern and southern Nevada, major developers have stayed out of the state because of counties' proximity to legal prostitution. This is an economic disadvantage to legalizing prostitution. And I'm going to go back to how workers are being taken advantage of when legalizing prostitution. Because out on the streets, what do you have controlling prostitutes? You have pimps. Pimps are the middlemen. They get you clients. They protect prostitutes, but they control the money basically. When you legalize prostitution, the new pimps are the brothels and the state. All the money goes to them. When you legalize prostitution, according to the ex-prostitutes Amber and Laura Anderson, everything that you have to do to keep yourself as a working prostitute, such as the weekly checkups for chlamydia and gonorrhea, to the HIV or monthly HIV testing of or HIV and syphilis, everything that they have to do is paid out of the prostitute's own money. And every client or every service done by a prostitute, 50% of their earnings goes to the brothel themselves. According to Laura Anderson, prostitutes also don't have control of their own freedom or independent contractors or sole proprietors or that they have. If they decide to refuse a customer, the management has to be provided with what deems to be an acceptable reason. It limits the freedom of, well, prostitution, I guess, because you can't really choose your own clients, because it's severely limited by brothel management, staff, pimps, madams, which is the female version of a pimp, anything that's controlling or under brothel staff, I guess. And another way to show that the prostitutes or brothels work against the prostitutes themselves is that brothels charge additional for room and board. Several of them have the prostitutes supplement these house employees' income by giving them required tips. Required tips. Can you believe that? The mandatory tipping can start at a minimum of $18 per day in larger brothels. It's an effective way for house to minimize labor costs. Not only that, but prostitutes are then put under harsh working conditions. Some of them, according to Laura Anderson, have 12 to 14-hour shifts that are usually imposed, and any plans to leave premises of these establishments must be approved by management, or a prostitute may forfeit her job or money. Houses discourage many, and to add to the limiting of freedom for prostitutes and the weekly checkups, they don't even get to choose who they see as a doctor. Houses discourage and in many cases forbid prostitutes to see doctors of their own choosing. These these cases can be easily taken advantage of. Doctors can be bought off. They can, because the sex industry is terribly rich. We all know that. everyone loves, sex. And something that can be so easily, or that can make so much profit, can easily buy off services such as doctor's appointments, checkups, and surgical scans, anything that might influence a working condition for prostitutes. And I like to add to their argument about human trafficking. They believe that if you legalize prostitution, then human trafficking will decrease, or not increase at all, because the marketplace won't be as, I guess, big. However, according to an article online, does legalized prostitution increase human trafficking? Researchers used a global sample of 116 countries. 116 countries, that's a whole lot of people. And they found out these countries where prostitution is legal tend to experience a higher reported inflow of human trafficking than in countries in which prostitution is prohibited. Germany showed a sharp increase in human trafficking upon fully legalizing prostitution in 2002. The number of human trafficking victims in 2004 in Denmark, where it was decriminalized, was more than 4 times that of Sweden, where it was illegal. This is because, according to Eric Neumer in the same article, where most victims of international human trafficking are women and girls coerced into the sex industry abroad, we wanted to find out if legalized prostitution increases or reduces demand for trafficked women. And their theory was because legalized prostitution accepts prostitution as an occupation, there's more of a demand for women in the sex industry. And when you traffic anything into the sex industry, it's mostly girls, not a lot of guys, Girls aren't as open, I guess, but girls are usually the main victims of human trafficking. So human trafficking does see an increase with legalization of prostitution.